Welcome to LOFORCE. The topic I want to touch on today again, especially since the new year's starting up and everyone's really excited, is goals. And, I get a lot of emails because people are like, well, how should I really do my goals? I just did an event at the Encore Hotel in Las Vegas, and it was all focused on business planning and making sure you have the psychological piece that's lined up with business planning. So the 3 points I want to really discuss today is the philosophy around goals, and the second point is the action steps, and the third is the leverage aspect. So when we get into the part of goals, you really think about it is the only time really people look at goals is New Year's Eve, and the next time they really look at it is the following New Year's Eve. And reality is that New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, there's just another day the sun goes up, another day the sun goes down. The reason there's so much excitement on New Year's Eve is either a person had a great year and they're really excited, they're embracing the great year that they have, and they're looking forward to the new year because it's going to be even better than the year they have. Or you have the people that had a really terrible year and they're really unhappy how the year went, and they're celebrating also, and they're celebrating that the year is gone and it's a clean slate for the new year, and there's going to be great things happening for the new year. But we can do that any day. It doesn't have to be New Year's Eve. You can any single day, because New Year's Eve is just another day the sun goes up, sun goes down. So you can have that same feeling of saying, hey, today is a new day. I'm changing some of the things in my life to make my life more productive, to make it a much more spiritual experience, to where you're finding yourself enjoying each and every moment instead of living way in the future or living way in the past. And that's where most people live. Most people either live in the past, where they keep dwelling on what happened yesterday, or people live way in the future and they forget to live the present, where all the power's at. So as you think of goals, you need to look at goals that are realistic. And these are goals that are achievable. Now, Sam, anything's achievable. Whatever you put your mind to can happen. I agree with all that. But you want to have goals that you can measure, okay? You can measure the results at. And to do that, you got to make sure you choose goals that excite you and that gets you passion behind the goal. So, for example, what you want to do is get a piece of paper and write down a goal, whatever it may be. It might be goal of losing weight, it might be goal of prospecting more, whatever that goal is. And then right beside the goal, write down 3 action steps that you're going to take to make that goal happen. 3 things that must take place, action steps that must happen to achieve that goal. Right beside those action steps, I want you to write down the pain that you would get, the pain that you would get if you don't take the action step, the time that you have to take it. Now, one crucial step that you want to add to the action step is put the date that you're going to start that. Make sure you have the date there. So right beside it, as you put the leverage, they're like, Sam, what should the leverage be? So if your goal was, I need to go work out 3 times a week, you need to make sure you have somebody who can hold you accountable. Somebody who's going to be at the gym, that goes consistently to the gym. And that way you can tell that person, look, if I don't show up 3 times a week, I'm going to give you $500 or I'm going to give you $100. Now what you're doing is you're creating the pain if you don't do what you know you need to do and you want to do. The pain of not doing it is so great that you rather do it. Now that creates leverage. Now let's say your goal is prospecting more. You're like, hey, my goal is to prospect 5 people a day. Okay, what are the action steps that I need to take? Maybe action step 1 is to make sure you have a list of people you're going to prospect. Action step 2 is making sure you block out the time that you're going to prospect. So as you put these things in place, you go and make sure you put the date that you're going to start that with, that you're going to start on. And again, do the same thing, put the leverage in there. And the leverage for you, or the pain that you're going to create, is maybe somebody in your office and say, look, if I don't prospect during this time, during Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday, I'm gonna give you $100. then whoever that person is, maybe it's the receptionist, maybe it's somebody just standing there. Now that created leverage. So now your goals have a higher percentage of conversion ratio to make it happen. Make those goals actually achievable. Where before you just put the goal that you want to achieve and you hope that everything works out. But you forget the most important thing of understanding yourself. Human beings will always justify why they did something and why they didn't do something. Human beings are the best liars to themselves. So what you got to do is you got to create a system where you have no other way to actually make your goals happen by taking the action steps when they're supposed to be taken and making sure that leverage piece is on. So I wish everybody a powerful New Year's Eve, a powerful New Year. I look forward to talking to you soon.